So in order to understand what a buffer is, it might be useful to talk about what a buffer isn't. So if we take a look at a 0.1 molar solution of acetic acid, this is what its ionization equation would look like. And so we have acetic acid, and so I'm going to label that here as my acid, and acetate ion, which is its conjugate base. Okay, and so acetic acid, as we know, is a weak acid, as noted by the double arrows, meaning that it's going to ionize only a small amount. In fact, it only ionizes about 1.3% for a 0.1 molar solution. So that means that most of the acetic acid is going to stay intact. So I'm just going to say I have lots of this, and I'm going to have a relatively small amount of acetate ion and hydronium ion produced. And so what that means is if I were to add sodium hydroxide, a strong base, to this equilibrium, that means I would have quite a bit of acetic acid available to neutralize the added base. So acetic acid is a weak acid and therefore does not completely ionize. In fact, a 0.1 molar solution ionizes about 1.3% and would result in a pH of about 2.87. As such, if a small amount of a strong base were added to the solution, almost all of the acetic acid molecules would be available to react and neutralize the added hydroxide ions from the strong base. Now, if I were to do the same thing and add a strong acid, well, I don't have very much acetate ion available to neutralize the added hydrochloric acid. And so this is not considered to be a buffer because I'm not able to neutralize the addition of acid or base equally. And that is due to the difference in the amount of acetic acid and acetate ions that I have. So again, acetic acid is a weak acid and therefore does not completely ionize. It will ionize about 1.3%, resulting in a pH of 2.87. As such, if a small amount of strong acid like hydrochloric acid is added to the solution, there would be very low concentration of acetate ion available to react and neutralize the added hydronium ions. And since this solution is unable to counter the effects of added hydronium ions, it's not considered to be a buffer. Okay, remember, a buffer needs to be able to counter the addition of acid or base. And right now, we're really in a position to only counter the addition of base because we have a lot of acetic acid, but not very much acetate ion. So what do you think I could add to make this solution a buffer? Go ahead and try and answer the question, and we'll follow up in the next